Live. Hey, we're on the air. How's it going, everybody? What's happening today? Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. Welcome to Friday. Oh, thank God it's Friday. Friday, the 9th of March, 2018. What a week. Richard Koromansky just started writing me. He's back to reality. He says he's returned from his Panama cruise, so I'll look forward to hearing about that. Welcome everybody to the channel. Say hi, pop in and say hi to me if you like, and tell me where you're watching me from. What's your high temperature going to be today? Here in Creston, where I am, Creston, British Columbia, Canada, we're about 40 degrees, and we've had the most interesting day. We started out quite raining. We were raining to start the day, rain on top of the snow, which is helping melt it. We reached the bat. Then the rain stopped. And it looked like it was going to get sunny. Then no, it changed its mind. It went back to rain. Then it started with sleet, had a little bit of hail. Then we had full-blown snow. it just dropped so quickly in temperature, I guess the air above, that so much moisture was coming down. The snow was still snow by the time it reached the ground here. And all the roofs across down the street for all my neighbors, they're all covered in snow, all white. The street was white. I thought, serious snow squall. But that didn't last more than 5 minutes. And then it stopped, and then the clouds lifted. The sun came out. We had bright sunshine for about an hour, melted everything away, and now we're back to cloudy again. So we got a nice little variety. It's a dust-free day here in Creston, British Columbia, ladies and gentlemen. We don't believe in dust in the winter. And, you know, we're just crazy that way. But we're going to be sunny the next 3 days. And I think we're hitting 50, 55 even. So we're really going for a meltdown. And couldn't come at a better time, because goodbye to winter. I want to see it be gone forever. The channel that we're plugging along here on Traveling with Bruce on YouTube, not .com. Thank you for all the regulars who are back. If any of you are new, who've never been here before, I'm Bruce. Love talking about cruise ships, cruise ship vacations. If you're a new cruiser, you've never been on a cruise before, you have come to the right place. This is your channel. This is a daily live stream that I have Monday to Friday. I do a show every day at 5 in the afternoon, 5 o'clock Eastern time. But on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I throw in a second show at 8 o'clock in the evening. Saturdays, 2 o'clock, I do a live stream. So it's 8 live streams a day. We talk nothing but cruise ships. We talk about deals, trends, news, what's going on, stuff we're hearing about. We compare notes. We have travelers that go on trips, come back from trips, tell us how it went. They let us know what the ships are like, and we get the latest scoop on what's going on. So if you're new to cruising, you've come to the right place. You wanna check out this channel. Subscribe if you want. There's a button there. There's a button there. Become a subscriber, and every time I do a new video, you'll get alerted. Especially there's a little button over here or over here. It looks like a little bell. It's called the bell notification icon. Click that. You'll get an email every time I do something new on the channel, and as in what's going on and what's news. And if you haven't cruised for 10 years, you want to kind of catch up on what's been happening, because a lot has been happening in the 10 years. It's nothing like it used to be. It has really, really changed. The channel, we had a couple milestones this week. For those of you who have been here for 1 million minutes of watch time this week, day before yesterday, hit 1 million minutes of watch time. We also passed the 150,000 view mark for the channel, which is great. And then subscribers. Yesterday, when I got off the air last night, 1,253 subscribers. Today, 1,211 newbies have joined us again. So we're on our way to 1,300, probably after the weekend, by Monday, Tuesday. I think we'll be at 1,300 subscribers and growing. Fantastic one. And if you have any questions, comments, just machine there, let me know. On my channel, or my status update for my channel, still not monetized. We went through this whole monetized thing in January and February through YouTube, and on the 20th of February, all the channels that had qualified to become monetizable were put on notice that they're now in review. That's where I am. I'm in review. So I used to be monetized. I'm now demonetized, waiting to be reviewed. I have no idea how long it's going to be. It's been 2.5 weeks. No hint. Not a zillion channels like mine waiting for the word that we're, so I'm working for free. The only way I get paid right now is from the generosity of my viewers directly, and that means if you some dollars to my tip jar, you can do so. There's a couple of ways to do it. There's a super on this live stream. There's a $ down below where you're typing in your message to me. If you hit that, you can send me a couple of bucks if you like. If you send me $10 or more, for those of you who want to do that, you get one of those. See those behind me there? Those are the sports medallions that I had in my old sports shop. And I'm selling those I'm giving those away for a $10 contribution to my tip jar or more. And I've got NFL teams and NHL teams and some baseball teams and some colleges there, including the Marines, the U.S. Army, and the U.S. Navy. Is that right? Army, Navy, U.S. Air Force, and Marines. I have all of those logos as well. These make perfect ball markers for golf courses, or they can be glued on to you name it. You can glue those on a wallet, on a business card holder, on your cell phone, on the back of your computer. Show off your support for your favorite team. So if you give me a $10 contribution or more, I'm sending you one of those. On the bottom of this video will be a description of this video after I finish off the air here, and I'll have a list of all the teams available and all the instruction. The only other way to send me help is through PayPal. I've now set up a PayPal account, and you can make a contribution to me there, and or you can buy medallions through PayPal if you wish as well. Just make a $10 contribution and send me your address, your selection, and I'll fire you a medallion. That's enough for the commercials. So welcome one and all. I see 32 viewers here, and the messages have been pouring in. So let's say hi to everybody, see who's here and what's going on. Richard Kornmaski was the first to say hi. He was talking to me 3 or 4 minutes before I went on the air. He said, hi, Bruce, back from Panama. It's in the 90s there, back to 42 degrees Fahrenheit in Philly and 2 snowstorms. Yeah, not good. You missed some adventure there, Richard. Back to reality. Crash 3X is here today from Ottawa. She's saying, hello, Bruce. I posted a news link on your page today. Thank you very much for that. Peter Heckema, hi, Bruce. The ski jackets and hoodies are off, and we are back up to 76 degrees today. A lot of sun and not a cloud in the sky here in Tarpon Springs, Florida. Life is good. It's returning back to normal. The crisis is over. That's great. Crash 3X is saying it's 1 degree Celsius in Ottawa today. That's Ottawa weather. Scott Batchley, hi, Bruce. Back again, cloudy but nice in Ventura at 63. Scott Durwood is here too, saying, hi, Bruce. 37 Fahrenheit in Havre. Heading to Calgary on Sunday to fly out. Won't be back till the 31st from my cruise. That's right. He's heading to New York, and then from there he's heading down to, I believe, Santiago, Chile, and he's taking a cruise from there. Should be great. Betsy Lane, hi there. Hello, +2 in Hamilton. Hi, Betsy. How are you? Welcome to my show today. Sylvan Forrest is also here. He's saying, hi, Bruce. Delray Beach, barely Fahrenheit today. This is calamity. It is too uncomfortable to sit outside. I mean, this is serious stuff. So it is rum and Coke inside and no cigar. I may move to Costa Rica. Yeah, head another 500 miles south or whatever the distance is, 800 miles south. You got to find that warm weather, Sylvan. I mean, this is ridiculous. Welcome back. Pamela Jordan, hi, Bruce, and everyone. Sunny and 57 degrees here in Iva, South Carolina. See, Iva's 57. That's okay. But down in Florida, where it's only 70-odd, Delray Beach, that's not okay. All on perspective. Let's see. Crash GX is saying, I can hear my hubby come home, snowblower running. I didn't clear driving for him today. She's saying. Nina Frank is here. Hi, Bruce. Suddenly just heard your voice. Had you on standby on another page. So welcome back. Nice to have you here. Jorge Santana is here today. Hi, Bruce. 35. I'm in Boston today. We had 6 inches of snow and now rain and snowflakes. Yeah, you got the mix. That's the transition. And oh man, if it'll cool off tonight, and then the streets will be black ice. Look out. Oh, adventure in Massachusetts. Belinda C is here. Hi, Bruce. 75 on the Gold Coast in Australia from down under. Welcome back, Belinda. It's great to have you. Charles Jordan, good evening, Bruce and all. Steve Bartley saying 60 degrees Fahrenheit in Greenlee, Colorado. Snow is all gone, but still possible until mid-May. Oh, yeah, you're never out of it. Same with Calgary in Alberta. You're never out of it until the end of May. Oh yeah, you never know. 2 feet can come in the middle of May. No, after 75 degrees for 2 weeks, 2 feet of snow, back to 75 degrees for two. It's insane. It can happen. Scott Batchley, 197 days till my next cruise. Can't wait for the bliss. Oh, yeah, I'm sure that's going to be fantastic. Teresa McFarland, hi, Bruce. 1 below today in Waterloo, Ontario. Teresa, you're back. Hope you're feeling better and you're recovering. Good to have you. Betsy Lane, back from my first cruise on the Anthem. How was it? I'm kind of curious. What was that like, Betsy? Crash 3X news link was about the woman who fell off the Epic on Wednesday and was rescued. Yeah, heard all about that this last week, Crash. She apparently was taking a selfie of herself on one of the upper decks, and I guess she was leaning over too much, and down she went. Unbelievable what these people will do. It's incredible. Elizabeth Breen is here, 67 in Daytona, sunny and beautiful. That's not bad, Elizabeth. And Jorge is saying, is it better to reserve a short excursion through the cruise site or from the port itself? Any suggestions? You can go a couple of ways on this one, Jorge. Let me just say hi to Matt here. Matt saying hi, Bruce. 3 degrees Celsius here in Manchester, UK. Hi, so it's been in a while. Beast from the East. You're still recovering. Welcome, Matt. And then John Vincent saying, hey, Bruce, first timer, like your blog. In New Jersey, it's 39 here. Welcome, John. It's great to have you, a first timer. You have any questions about going on a cruise? Let us know if you're a first timer in that. If you're a veteran, join in the discussion. And thanks for joining us. Fantastic. Great to have you. Back to Jorge's question. Better excursion through the cruise line or from the port itself? Depends on where you are is going to be my first answer to that question. If you're talking about, say, I don't know, let's say you're doing a Mexican cruise, you're going to have short excursions offered from the cruise. There will be 12 different versions available, 12 different kinds. But you can always book your own through the internet in advance and have a limo or a taxi or a van waiting for you, depending on how large your party is. If it's just you and your, there's 4 of you, 6 of you, 10 of you, you can arrange your own. If you're in the Cayman Islands, say, you can do a deal where you get off the ship via tender, like everybody else, get on the shore. And then there are all those folks on the shore screaming at everybody going, your tours are here. And then they're directing everybody left, right, center. But if you have your own tour booked, you just have to find your contact on the pier, the area. And again, you hop in your van and maybe you're doing a Stingray City visitation, maybe Turtle Farm / Stingray City, 2 in 1. And, you booked your own and you're on your way. Will you save money? Maybe. You might be $5 a person less, you might not be, but you're not with the ship. And so if you have to be back at the pier at a certain time, you want to make sure that happens. And if you booked a charter boat for Stingray City in the Cayman Islands, you want to make sure that vessel has you back at your dock so that you can get back in that vehicle, back to your ship on time. If it's a ship tour for the same place, you don't have to worry about this stuff because the ship tour people will get you back in time because they can talk to the people on board the ship directly through walkie-talkie or cell phone call, that type of thing. Now, if you're in Europe and you're doing a tour, this is where it gets a little more complicated because if you're in, say, Rome, you're in the port that services Rome. That's about 80 kilometers from the center of the city, if I recall. I took a cruise with my daughter, a Mediterranean cruise. Rome was one of our stops, and I booked a ship tour there. It was basically an 8-hour ordeal, and it started with the bus ride into Rome with a pee break on the way, then right to the Colosseum where they have parking for these tour operators. And we're walking around the area of the Colosseum. I mean, fantastic, worry-free. We saw a church in the area, saw the Colosseum, and after that, it was now lunchtime. And the ship, the cruise line, had booked a restaurant, the entire restaurant, for like there were 2 busloads of us. So I guess there must have been 100 people. And we hit this restaurant. And they had the whole area sectioned off, cordoned off just for the cruise ship. And so we were, royally serviced, fed, wine, coffee, dessert, everything. And no rush, no worries, no bill, all included. And then back on the buses, and we went to the Vatican for the second half of that tour. And we did the Vatican with a tour of St. Peter's Basilica. Absolutely wonderful, worry-free. The bus was parked in a parkade down below. It was an air-conditioned bus. It was a hot day. We knew we had an air-conditioned ride back to the ship. When it got time to gather up, we met with our tour guide. We all gathered together back on the bus. And the bus driver took care of the rest. I had no worries. And I could just look out the window and not have to worry about a darn thing. Worth every penny for the peace of mind and for the organized tour, because it's all they do. It's their job. They do it every day with another cruise ship, and they have it down to a science. And I can't recommend it highly enough. So yes, you can do your own tour, or no, you can do an organized tour. I will say that my daughter and I on the same cruise were in Lisbon, Portugal for a stop, and we decided we didn't want to do a tour of any kind. We just decided we're going to go for a little tour of our own without any tour guide, nothing. And so we got off the ship, and we walked out of the port area. We got a little shuttle right out of the port property, and we were right at we knew was there because we were given a little map from the cruise line. So we took the subway about 3 or 4 stops right into the old town, downtown Lisbon from way back, got into the main square and walked the main drag, which is no cars, just pedestrians. Loved it. And for us, everything was different. Everything was interesting because it's not my hometown. And loved walking through downtown Lisbon. I know we saw nothing with respect to what we could have seen. Had we gone on a tour, we would have been taken to a castle or to a fort or to some Roman ruins or to part of a museum. I mean, we would have been educated about Lisbon big time, but we didn't want to do that. We just wanted a day to schlep around, and if we saw an ice cream vendor, we'd buy an ice cream. If we felt like buying a soda, we'd buy a soda. And I'll tell you, we walked one direction. We made a pact that we'd walk as far as we want to walk, and when we had enough, we're going to hail a cab and get a cab ride back. And that's exactly what we did. We cabbed it back to the ship for $8, $10, worth every spent. What, $20 for 3.5, 4 hours, and we loved it. We took lots of people, heard lots of language galore. Fantastic. That worked out for us. So it all depends on what it is you want. If you're trying to organize a highly organized tour and event and whatever, you can do it yourself. You can do it through a tour entity. Go online to set it up, or you can go through the cruise line and utilize their staff and their people, and take one of their organized tours. And you'll pay a little more, but you get more on the peace of mind side. So there's a couple of thoughts for you. I hope I haven't bored everybody with that. Let's see here. What's going on? That was Jorge's comment. Matt, hi, Bruce, 3 degrees. Yeah, John Vincent's the newbie. Hi, John. Crash 3X, I prefer to Photoshop a pic versus falling overboard into the ocean. Seriously. Yeah. I don't get it, but we hear about these from time to time, but the reality is, what is it now? Almost 30 million people are going on a cruise, 2.5 million a month, and it's about a person falling overboard. One every 2.5 million, someone either jumps because they want to end it all, they get shoved because somebody wants to end it all, or they accidentally fall over because they were drinking, or they were not paying attention, or they were showboating. And what can I say? 1 out of 2.5 million. What are the odds? Well, it's like a lottery, isn't it? It's unbelievable. And that's what makes the news, doesn't it? It makes the news every time because it's such a, what would happen if I fell in? What would I do? That kind of thing. Yeah. Matt, I'll laugh out loud, Crash. He likes that. Jorge, awesome. Thanks. Matt saying, always ship tours. It's not worth the stress. Betsy Lane is saying, cruise was great. Oh, good. Okay. This is the uh, something. Sorry. Cruise was great. Shows were amazing. Bumper cars and roller skating was lots of fun. Escape room was interesting. Stuck in a room with control know-it-all. Escape was interesting. Stuck in a room with a control know-it-all. It sounds like, generally speaking, you had a good time. Sylvia's here. Hi, Bruce. Greensboro, North Carolina, 54 degrees and sunny from Sylvia. Hi, Sylvia. Debbie, hi, guys. A bit late, but I made it. Hope everyone is doing well. Cloudy and 63 here in Chico. How are you, Debbie? It's nice to have you. Bob, oh, hi, Bruce, 63 in Pelham, Alabama. Go Tide. Sylvan Forest. I took the train in, Civit Civetta to Rome. Yeah, the port to Rome. I'll just call it the port. And loved it. I loved it, he says. I saved about $300 by not dealing with the excursion desk. And now, see, there again, had my daughter and I wanted to just roam for what we could see on our own, I would have done that too. We would have just grabbed the train, gone down there, be right downtown, like right in the heart of Rome. We could have taken a subway line right to the Colosseum stop, Colosseo. Walked out, walked around, gone in, maybe not, just walked the area around the Colosseum. I mean, a 5-block radius of the Colosseum, you're seeing a lot of ancient Rome and modern day Rome. And it's all different because it's not your hometown. And if it's your first time, why not? And then, maybe you will stop at a little coffee shop for a coffee, or you'll see a street vendor flogging, something cool to drink, or spend a couple of euros, pick it up. And then work your way back to the subway, to the train, or right back to the train, and then back to the ship. Can be done, and can be done economically is the word I'm looking for. Economically, for sure. But we really enjoyed the tour. It was very good. We saw what we wanted to see. We walked past all the lines at the Colosseum, right in, because it was all prepaid. At the Vatican, oh man, there were 1,000 people in line looking to go into the Basilica. I mean, I don't know, 10, 15 euros a head. They had to pay their thing and get another line and wait to get it. They just waved us through and we went right in. So for us, because we did want to see the inside of St. Peter's Basilica and we did want to go into the Colosseum, it worked out perfectly with the ship tour. And then throwing in the lunch, making an 8-hour day. Yeah, great. And yeah, we were tired when we got back. I was tired. Headed right for the spa, my usual routine. And I, had my steam and had a nap on the heated ceramic lounger. Had a wonderful dinner later that evening. But Sylvain did it right. That worked for him. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Grab the train, go in there, have a good time, enjoy, see what you see. Don't worry what you don't see. And then work your way back. You're good. It's all good. Elizabeth booked a Stingray City tour with a private boat for 17 of us, and they tried to pull a fast one and put us on a boat with about 100 other people, and that was not what we agreed on. They fixed it. Yeah, this is one of the trials and tribulations you might be faced if you book your own excursion. You're now going to have to be the taskmaster. You're going to have to be that tough guy, what you're paying for. You want to make sure you get what you're buying from these people. They deliver the goods that they promised to deliver. And this is one of those instances where, they tried to put you on another, right? And they made another group on for double dipping, right? So good move on that one, Elizabeth. Well done. Richard is saying, Bruce, tours by locals is a good place to set up your own tour of a city or a site. That was great. You get to select your guide and how they meet you and what their background is. Great. I used it. Yeah, that's another one. My daughter and I did do Naples on the same cruise, and in Naples we ended up with a tour guide again through the ship. It was a 3.5-hour deal, included a bus ride, and we went to Herculaneum, which is like Pompeii, but not as not as heavily visited, but much better preserved. And we had a tour guide who was hired by the cruise line to, be our tour guide, and very knowledgeable. He forgot more than we'll ever know about Herculaneum. He was great. And I really enjoyed him. I really enjoyed him as a tour guide because he really answered questions and was very open to you couldn't fluster this guy. It was just always on a roll. Sounds familiar. I know a guy like that who talks like that. Oh, that's me. And anyway, he was fantastic and well worth the money. But I can imagine that had I looked online, or like today, if I were knowing I was going to Naples in 3 months on a cruise, yeah, I could probably hire a tour guide to meet us at the pier, but then we'd have to arrange transportation either by cab or something. And now it's the logistics get involved. And I don't want to be. I just want to. In our case, we just got on the bus, and I could just sit in the bus and just relax and not worry about anything. We got there, we got a bus ride back to the ship, and I was going to be in the spa around 5:30 in the afternoon. And life is good when you know that. And so I paid the extra money. I was happy to do it. But again, what do you want to see, right? Sonny Wallace is here. Hi, Bruce. Do you think the cruise market bubble will burst soon, like the real estate market? Sonny, I think not quite yet. And I don't want to say it's overheating. I don't know if it's overheating for sure yet, because if it were overheating, the prices would be out of control, and they're not. It's still quite easy to book a cruise. The variety is fantastic. The amount of, the number of ships coming to the market, coming onto to the seas are phenomenal. Even old cruise ships are being refurbished and being redeployed by other cruise lines. I just read an article today. I'm actually going to mention that today, talking about a cruise ship changing hands, going from one line to another. I will say this too, that the cruise lines have a couple of weapons in their arsenal to protect themselves against a drop in business. Now, maybe that word is a bit strong, catastrophic, because I guess if you had a 20% drop in bookings, that would be, pretty hard on everybody. But the Carnivals and the Norwegians and the Royal Caribbeans, the big three, they have enough older ships in their itinerary, in their stable, that they could park for a while. They could just, mothball for a while, or they could sell them off to secondary cruise lines. And they could take a lot of capacity out of the system pretty quickly, reducing their costs, reducing their overheads, reducing their labor fees, and reducing the selection of cabins available so that they can keep the prices where they are for the other ships, the newer and larger ships. Of course, every time they take delivery of a new cruise ship, the new cruise ship is more efficient on a per passenger basis than the older ships that they have in their system from the late 90s or early 2000s. So like the Symphony of the Seas, handling up to 6,600 passengers, if they stuffed it that full of people, the cost per passenger on that ship is much lower than the cost of an 1,800 passenger size ship that they would retire, or that would have just been retired a year or two ago. And so they can operate a cruise on a per person basis for a very efficient price. And as long as they can maintain either the cabin price, or they entice us to take the extras, like the specialty restaurants, paying for extra features on board, buying drink cards. Now the cappuccino bar, that's a relatively new 10-year phenomena. 15-year phenomena, and adding other things like reserving a seat, a preferred seat in the show in the evening, or charging us for the swimming pool show at the back, the diving display. They're going to charge for that, $5 a seat. They might find ways to nickel and dime us to death, which will just make us angry as hell. But they'll find ways to extract money out of us, other ways to make up for the fact that the cruise is 95% full, not 100% full. But the bubble, that question of yours is Well, what if there is a 15, 20, 25% pullback from, acts of war, recession, whatever the reasons, that all of a sudden cruising is out of fashion for a while? What do we do? What happens? And cruise lines still can move ships to where the business is. So if it's hot in Australia, traffic there, they can get good traffic out of China. They'll move them over there, and they'll put the ships to work in those regions, and will drop the number of Caribbean cruises or the number of Mediterranean cruises, for that matter. So they can do that. But failing that, if it's a worldwide depression, pullback, you name it, they will then start mothballing some of the ships. They'll take their oldest ships that they don't want to get rid of, but they'll deploy them. They may just park them, and they'll decide, what, we're going to do dry dock earlier on a third of the fleet, and in the next year, 2 years, we'll do dry dock work, major extensive dry dock work, and we'll just make an investment in the next 15, 20 years and ride this storm out. They could play that game, and they'll be used to 85, 80% capacity for a while, and they'll break even on a lot of cruises, lose a little, but break even on a few, make a little on a few others, and they'll find ways to survive it. That's what they would probably do. Just my thoughts. Let's see now. The cruise market. Randy Lucas. Hi, Bruce. Joining late. Hey, Randy. Overcast and 64 for a high in Paradise, California. Welcome. Kelly's here. Hey, Kelly. Hi, Bruce from Canton. 36 and cold. I sent you an email today, Kelly. Sherry Ann is here. Hi, Bruce. 32 in Connecticut. Thank God it's Friday. Yeah, it's 32, but at least it's Friday, right? Charles Jordan. Bruce, could use more bandwidth. Lag is bad today. Let's see if I can do anything here on my bandwidth. Let's see if that is any better for you guys. There's only a few adjustments I can make, but we'll keep an eye on it. I'm seeing my picture too, and it's pretty, well, it's lousy. We'll see if it gets any better or it works any better for you. Let's see, Sylvan, no lag here. He's saying it's all good for him. Great to hear. It probably is just the system the way it's going. Yeah, let me know, folks, on how it looks and how it works. And if I can up the bandwidth, I will. Maybe we can make it better. Okay. Anyone giving me thumbs ups? Thank you again for those. Day long so far. I see 26. Fantastic, everybody. Thank you very much. Anyone have questions about the cruise lines? Let me know. I've got a bit of news today. Thought I'd mention this. There's two pieces of news I came up with in particular. The first one, well, we were just talking a minute ago about capacity on cruise ships. There's an outfit called CMV Travel, and Leisure Group, I guess is what their full name is. They operate cruises in Australia, and they operate cruises elsewhere. And they just picked up a ship from Carnival, the P&O Australia line. So that's the Carnival line operating out of Australia under the name P&O. They call Pacific Eden is the name of the ship that they just bought. They will take possession of that ship April 2019. So that's 13 months from now is when it'll actually transfer over to CMV. But the ship was built in 1992, and it was originally known as the Statendam for Holland America, which is also a Carnival cruise line. So Carnival transferred the Statendam over to P&O Australia, sent it into dry dock, refurbished it, then called it the Pacific Eden, and have been operating in Australia now for about 3 years. This was in 2015. And now by 2019, after only 4 years, they're unloading the ship entirely to CMV. Now, CMV is saying that they're going to use the ship for Australian cruises because they're looking to establish an Australian cruise line or service, cruise service in Australia. But the other thing I read about CMV today was that they they seem to have announced and have signed some kind of a deal with the Mexican government to operate cruise ships only in Mexican waters. They're looking to establish a home port in Acapulco. They've selected Acapulco as their home base for their Mexican based cruise line. And they're convinced that 85% of all passengers that will take cruises with them will be Mexican nationals, citizens of Mexico. And of course, on the West Coast, Mexico has, what is it, 1,500 miles of coastline? It's massive. And they're convinced that they can go south and north and back to Acapulco and drop off and pick up another load of tourists, and off they go, just only. So they're picking up second-hand ships, sending them into dry dock to refurbish them, and then utilize them, in this case, Australia, and in this particular case, Mexico. And it was tried once or twice before. There were plans before to try this, but it never got off the ground. Bad timing, underfunded entities, whatever the problem was, and they just couldn't make a go of it. But now CMV has deep pockets. Government is pouring in the money into the Acapulco facilities to make it work. And the Mexican government is very interested in offering their own citizens the opportunity to cruise, because unfortunately, a lot of Mexican citizens cannot get to San Diego or Los Angeles or Miami very easily to take a cruise, because the authorities in the United States are worried that these folks, either before the cruise, won't show up. They'll land at the airport but won't get to the ship, and now we've got illegals, or they'll take the cruise, and then after the cruise is over, they just disappear into the ether, and we have a whole bunch of people, unreported aliens again in the U.S. So the Mexican government is saying, why don't we just do it ourselves? Why don't we have our own cruise line, and we'll only have the ship ply waters in Mexico, because we, as the government of Mexico, can make the rules. We can allow cruise ships to visit Mexican ports only, and we'd love to do that. And they think that they have enough citizens of the country that would love to cruise from the northern part of Mexico to the southern part of Mexico, with Acapulco being the hub, because they have a great airport there, and they could fly their folks in and out. And or you can drive to Acapulco, of course, if you live in Mexico yourself. You can take a day trip and drive one overnight trip, whatever it works, however it works for you. Get to Acapulco, take a cruise, and then drive back home. So very interesting. The ship that, by the way, that the old Staten Dam, that's the Pacific Eden that was picked up, a ship can hold 1,258 passengers, has 557 crew. And right here is an example of Carnival through P&O Australia making adjustments. They've taken this America, shifted it to P&O first. Holland America has been adding larger ships, got rid of the smaller ship. Now P&O is getting rid of this smaller ship, and they'll bring on larger ships, probably from Carnival's own brand, and bring in larger ships for their Australian division. So that's how Carnival constantly upgrades their fleet. They'll eventually, shift it down, hand me down, and then they'll sell it off to a third party and take it right out of service. And that's 1,258 people they don't have to worry about putting into an older ship. And they know, Carnival knows, they can't compete. That ship can't compete with the new Carnival Horizon cruise ship that's coming out. That's a 4,000 passenger ship with all the toys, all the onboard amenities, water slides and everything else. And this ship can't compete with that. So off it goes. It's right out of the fleet. They're not going to spend $50 million to upgrade it. Ship it to CMV, let them handle it. So cruise news, that's what's going on in the cruise business, and it happens with everybody. Let's see here. Sherry Ann saying, hi. Charles Jordan, Bruce could use more bandwidth. Okay, we've got that. No lag here. Someone's saying, Judy's here. Judy Anstis. Hi, Bruce. Hi, Judy. Welcome. I hope the picture's okay for everybody. If any of you are having lag issues, let me know. I do see my picture on my computer. It looks terrible, but it's working, but it looks awful. I don't know if I can make it any better from my end or not, but we're trying. I'm going to try to up the usage again, see if it gets better. Let me know if this makes it worse. Let me know, folks, and we'll see what we can do there. Other things to tell you about. I was going to ask you folks this question. Do any of you have you ever run into a scenario where you know someone, or has it happened to you where you've missed the boat? Has any of you missed a cruise ship after being on shore? And what have you done? What happened? Or do you know someone that it happened to? And what ordeal did they go through to either catch up with the ship somewhere else or work their way back home to the embarkation port? Be kind of curious to know if anyone had that happen to them. Michelle is here. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Bruce. On vacation in Florida at 68. Hey, it's cool. Debbie Manuel, the stream seems better. Good, good. I'm glad to hear that. Looking at my computer, looking okay. It's not as clear as I'd like it to be, but it's better. I'm going to try one more adjustment on the stream. Any better than this? Here we go. This is the best streaming I can get. And let me know, folks, if you're having any improvement on the picture on this over the next little while. Randy Lucas saying, love the idea of Mexican cruises for us here on the left coast. Also, the prices should be very reasonable. Yeah, I would say, you know, the trick though would be, Randy, that you know, you're gonna have to make your way down to Acapulco to get on the ship. But boy, if I'm gonna go to Acapulco to take a cruise, I'll go down there a week before, hang out at a resort, then take the cruise. Then the cruise is over, and then I'll work my way back home with an air ride either that day or the next day. That's how I do it. That would be a great 2-week deal. You know, 1-week cruise, 1-week resort. Fantastic. K Sib is here. Know me, but a couple. Oh, K Sib saying that was not stranded, but saying, but a couple we were with 10 years ago did miss the ship. They had to pay for a private flight to the next port and a hotel. They waited for the ship and got back on. It is very expensive to miss the ship. Oh yeah. Oh man. What a fee that would have been to do that, man. Like I can see if you miss the ship in say San Juan, Puerto Rico, and then the ship is headed to St. Thomas, you can get from Puerto Rico to St. Thomas a couple of ways. One of them is a ferry. I mean, you can literally take a ferry that's a scheduled ferry, or you can hire a private charter boat to take you over, or hire a private plane, you know, one engine, you know, 40 miles, you know, get over there. That might run you a few $100, but boy, if you're stuck in Cozumel, next stop is Miami. You got to get back to Miami. Well, okay, you'll probably find flights. You're not playing with the airlines for one way. You're going to pay dearly for that. Sylvan's saying my friend's plane departure was delayed because of snow, and they missed the ship. They caught up in Saint Martin 2 days later. There you go. There's ways to you know, make that happen. Yeah, but you know, the dollars, how much is it going to run you, right? But hey, if it's a 7-day cruise and you can salvage 5 days, you do it, right? You do it. K Sid was saying it was San Juan to St. Thomas. Oh, isn't that something? Just like I was saying, look at that, San Juan to St. Thomas. Whether St. Martin or St. Thomas, about the same distance, but it was doable. But it still cost them, didn't it? Yeah. He went on to say, they got to St. Thomas while the ship sailed overnight, so they just had to pay for hotel while they waited. There you go. Very good. And P. Massey is here saying, if a passenger does not get back to the ship on time, will Disney leave them on Castaway Cay? Yeah, they will. There's no mercy on these cruise ships, generally speaking. I mean, the captain has a little leeway, but if they're on Castaway Cay and they're not with ship personnel, if you're not on ship event thing, then you're asking for it. Now, to me, I would be very surprised that anyone would miss the Disney ship on private. That would be shocking to me. It would be like Labadee, you know, in Haiti with Royal Caribbean. If you're there for the day, it's a private Royal Caribbean resort. How can you miss the ship? I mean, come on. Where did you go? How far did you get away? So I am puzzled by anyone getting lost on Castaway Cay, but yeah, if you're late, you're late. Richard Kornamaski saying big snowstorm in Midwest and Northeast caused 600 passengers to be delayed And then they held the boat for 2 hours in ports. So a lot of people were able to make it for departure. Yeah, on departure day, there might be a little flexibility there for the ship. But in a mid cruise, like mid cruise, third day of a 7-day, and if you've got to go from, say, I don't know, let's say you got to go from Oco Rios to Grand, the ship might only have a 1 or 2 hour window to wait. And after that, it can't wait anymore. It won't make it on time to the next port, so it has to go. Kay Sib is saying Disney employees live on the island. They will help. Yep, that's right. Elizabeth Green is saying this is why passports. We just always use our birth certificate. This is why booking excursions through the ship is the way to go. That way, they will wait for you. And as I say, Elizabeth, if you're a Canadian like me, I can't get into the United States without a passport. Even if I want to go buy gas across the border, I can't get in without the darn passport now. Cruise, there's no way a foreign national can get on a cruise ship without a passport. There's just no way. For Americans, I don't know what the rule is, but you would be really pushing your luck without a passport to try to get an international, cruise with multiple stops. But it's one of those things. If you and you're stuck on shore, you're late to catch your ship, say in Puerto Vallarta, and next stop is Los Angeles 2 days from now. You want your passport. You want your passport with you and your credit cards. You're going to now have to report to the dock master, harbor master, who's then going to have you report to customs and immigration because you're here late. You're here longer. You weren't supposed to be here overnight. So now you're going to need, papers for Mexico. And in effect, what are you asking for? Can I stay long enough so I can get the hell out of here? Because you're now heading to the airport to try to get the hell out of here. Of course, they'll accommodate you, but it might cost you a fee, a fine, something for the visa, the extra 24-hour stay or whatever the deal is. Sherry Ann, you've done it again. You've sent me a super chat. Thank you so much. $5. Thank you very much for the tip. I appreciate it very much. It's my first one of the day, and I need all the help I can get. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Other news to talk about today, not really even news, but I did catch something today, and it was a something called Seniors at Sea. It was a quote, Seniors at Sea. Seems that there is a firm out there, a sort of a travel agency, charter type company that are promoting a deal for seniors to stay for an extended period of time on a cruise ship, like a full-time stay. And they're offering short-term, like 30 and 60-day deals and longer. And they do have a 1-year-long itinerary that they're offering for a ship to anyone who wants to live on the ship, for an extended, quoted as permanently, but for like 6 months, a year. And they're touting the advantages of this service because you, as opposed to being a homeowner, you don't have any maintenance to worry about. Don't have to worry about the lawn, snow, no maintenance on the house or the condo, whatever you're living in. No other fees to worry about. You have to worry about the gas bill, the electric bill. You don't have to worry about car payments because you won't need a car. Property taxes, you want to worry about that. Insurance on your house or your apartment or what have you. You want to worry about that. They're trying to say rather than staying in a retirement home, if you don't need the services of a full-time nurse or doctor, you're healthy enough, you can look at a cruise ship instead of a retirement facility. And of course, depending on the retirement facility, some of these are expensive. I mean, they have all the bells and whistles. Some of these retirement homes are 6-star facilities, and you're talking, 6, 8, 10, 12,000 a month, for that. Here they're saying, look, why don't you stay on a cruise ship for a year and see the world? You've got your built-in home. You're going to see a big chunk of the planet. You're going to get excellent food on this cruise ship, and you can eat from, as little as toast and jam in the morning right up to a filet mignon steak in the evening, or whatever's on the dining room menu. You'll eat well. You'll meet all kinds of new people all the time because the ship is stopping to drop off passengers, pick up new passengers. You're staying on board. So the people change all the time. The variety changes. You're getting excellent entertainment, getting security. And if you're a couple, what a way to travel. What do you think about that? Now, they didn't quote a price. That's the one thing they didn't do. And of course, we've all seen, those of us who watch, those of you who watch me regularly, or those of us who are in the cruise game, love watching, information about cruising. You go to vacationstogo.com. You can look up world cruises. You can look up the price of a world cruise between now and 2 years from now, because cruise lines are announcing world cruises well in advance of sailing. And these are anywhere, might be 80 days long, 100 days long, days long, or longer. And you can take a segment of that trip, or the whole trip if you want. And if you look at those numbers aren't cheap. I have yet to see a world cruise where you can get a cabin, even an inside cabin, for, say, less than $100 a night per person. I almost never see that. I see about 120, 130 for an ocean view. I see 120 to 150 for a balcony. Under 150 is very infrequent. And so to me, if I wanted to be a full-timer, or let's say for the winter, I wanted to be on a cruise ship for all of January, all of February, all of March, rather than be in a condo, say in Palm Springs or in San Diego, or a condo in Florida. I want to be on a cruise ship for 3 months as a complete different change of pace. What I'd be doing is I would be shopping 6 months, 8 months before. I'd be shopping now for next year, looking to see which cruise line can I spend either the entire time on, or could I find maybe 3 different ships, 3 different itineraries, 1 month each. Could I do that? So yeah, I'm moving from a ship to a ship, but I'm on that ship for a month, might be 4 consecutive weekly cruises. And then I got 4 cruises on this ship, and then 4 cruises on that ship. To me, the variety would be, to me, exciting, enticing, interesting. And if 1 month I'm in the Eastern Caribbean, 1 month I'm in the, say, Western Caribbean, and another month I'm in the Southern Caribbean, I've got a nice variety of ports and countries to visit. And now, if I've booked it, and I'm a shareholder of the companies that these cruises are on, Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, or Carnival, I'm a shareholder. I get that shareholder credit. It's $100 a week. Every week I'm on these cruise ships. So 12 weeks of cruising, $1,200. That takes care of most of my tipping expenses. And then, of course, I'm looking for any specials that are being offered. That's why I'd be shopping now. Is there already cabin credit being offered as it is? With that knowledge in hand, I can already do my budgeting and go, all right, I know exactly how much I'm spending in January, February, and March for the entire ordeal. I also know that, in between the 1 month and the other, I have to be in a hotel for 2 nights, because the ship comes into Fort Lauderdale, and the ship I'm getting on for the next month doesn't leave until Thursday. So I'm going to need a Motel 6 or a Quality Inn or a Hilton, or whatever hotel you want, for a couple of days. Well, I'll do some shopping, and I'll pick up some supplies and that type of thing. But you could really put together an itinerary, I think quite organized, and I think it would be quite affordable, quite economic. Anyway, I think we're going to see more of this kind of stuff show up. I think we're going to hear more and more cruise lines starting to offer extended stay vacations on cruise ships at a set price. And it might be just a flat rate. It might be like, 20 grand gets you 6 months. And here's your itinerary. You board in wherever, Los Angeles. And when the cruise is over, you get off the ship in LA, or you get off the ship in New York or Tampa, or wherever it ends. And there's a flat deal. And you can just go, great. It's 20 grand all in, 26 weeks, $20,000. includes everything, tipping, taxes and fees, you name it. Now, extras, shore excursions, if you take any extras, especially dining perhaps, extras. But on the other hand, if you can book yourself 26 weeks of cruising through Carnival, through like Holland America, Princess Cruises, Cunard, the Carnival line, all of the Carnival's properties, Costa Cruises, Ada, P&O, you may find that I got 26 cruises booked through the family of Carnival, and I got $2,600 in cabin credits because I'm a shareholder of the company, and the shares cost me whatever, $6,000 for the 100 shares, and I got 2,600 in credits for just being a shareholder, and maybe a dividend. And now, the cost of the cruising less any cabin credits and promotions. You never know. And if you're a Carnival credit card holder and you book the cruise through Carnival credit card, they may well have a deal that says, every time you crank up $5,000 in spending, we give you $50 onboard credit on cruises. Well, geez, you book 26 weeks in a row on that credit card, and any other charges, you're going to get more cabin credits on board. So now all of a sudden your cost of cruising is just dropping. You're getting that volume deal you're looking for, and you're on a cruise ship for 5 months, 8 months, or whatever you want it to be. Could be an interesting way to go. Elizabeth Breen is saying here, we do not need a passport to go to the Caribbean, she says. As long as you're leaving a U.S. port, coming back to the same U.S. port, then it's fine. But if you miss the boat, then oops, you're in trouble. And there you go. Yeah, you know what? That's a gamble you may not want to take. For myself as a Canadian, don't have the passport. Any European coming in, we have to have a passport, of course. Yeah, so this cruising full time. What about that? I to me, it's appealing for the winter. I being Canadian, getting out of here, being on a cruise January, February, March. If I knew I was on a specific cruise ship in January or February or March, I would be letting all my friends know, and I'd be saying to my relatives, "Hey, I'm going to be on the so-and-so ship from this date to this date on these cruises. I'm going to be on this ship for these cruises and this ship. Why don't you come down and spend a week with me? Come and visit me." And for my daughter and her boyfriend, they might literally grab a week in one of those 4 weeks on any one of those ships and say, "Dad, I'm coming to see you in the second week of February. We'll be on the same ship you are with Mom, and we'll hang out." And wouldn't that be great? If I got friends of mine who know that, they might say, "Yeah, I'm going to book a cruise the second week of March. I'll see you on the so-and-so ship. We'll hang out. You can show me around because you know what's going on." So you can, you do that. I think a lot of your friends would catch up with you. Want to spend some time with you. Yes, K-Sib, good idea to have a passport. Yes, K-Sib, it is. I would not want to be without a passport, not a chance. Last thing I'll mention today is I took a peek quickly at the front page, the websites, cruise lines. I wanted to see what's the first thing they're showing me. What's the first thing they're talking to me about? And on a Royal Caribbean cruise line, as soon as it loaded up, the first thing they wanted to talk to me about was double up sale. That's the little shtick they got going now, a little logo, a little slogan they're using, double up sale. And what they're talking about is instant savings and onboard credits is what they're highlighting. And then just below it, they're saying 30% off every guest, up to $200 instant savings, and up to $200 cabin credits. Well, that is such a wide open offer. You can drive a Mack truck through that. There's no specificity there, nothing specific at all about that. You literally have to go into the website and dig, find your cruise, find the ship, find when you want to leave, how long you want to cruise for, and eventually you might get these offers. But by the time you get there, you may have forgotten about all these promos because 15 minutes later of clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking, and you're finding a cruise you'd like to look at and figure out about. Very tedious. But that's Royal Caribbean's deal right now, double up sale. On Norwegian Cruise Line, their headline is free at sea. Free at sea. And choose up to 5 offers is what they're throwing around right now. And they're saying that the offers are, number one, open bar, like free drink card. Number 2, free shore excursions. Number 3, free specialty dining. Number 4 is free Wi-Fi. And number 5, family and friends sail free. And then $500 onboard credit. Those of us who've been around a while, we kind of know what that means. The so-called 5 free offers, you're only going to get all suite, which is, top dollar. That's also with that $500 onboard credit. Again, $500 credit on an inside room. The friends and family sail free deal. That's generally 2 people are in the cabin already, and you're piling a couple more in behind it. Maybe the kids, maybe another couple. Can you handle 2 other adults in a balcony cabin for just taxes and fees? Well, if you're college age, maybe you can. If you're my age, maybe you can't. But that's the Norwegian Cruise Line front of their website. Boom, the big deal. Carnival has got not a lot. They're saying low deposits. That's it. Carnival's touting the fact that you can get a real low deposit to book a cruise, and they're happy to work with you on a payment schedule. Like send us $100 a month on your credit card every month, and by the time it's cruise time, you've paid for your cruise. Yay! Now, if you want to know what's going on with all the secondary lines that these guys operate, you have to go to their websites. They're exactly their own websites. It's a nightmare for me. I find it's a nightmare to go through these cruise site websites. I just go to vacationstogo.com and say, the heck with this. I'll just say, show me the deal for Caribbean cruising next year, January and February, 7-day cruises, leaving any port in Florida on any cruise line. Show me all of them. And then once I get those up, I'll ask for balcony prices only, from the cheapest to the most expensive. Show me. I can make the website do all that for me, and now I'm a price shopper first, and then I'll go backwards. I'll see the cheapest price, and then I'll look, well, who's offering that? Oh, I don't want to be on that. Okay, well, here's a good deal. Who's offering me that? And that's how I shop. So today, the cheapest 1-week balcony cruise in the Caribbean right now, between now and say April or May, MSC Seaside. Cheapest balcony available, $463 or $449, something like that, for a balcony on the MSC Seaside. And we all know, most of us know why. Some of you may not know why, but I think most of us know why. The smelly poop ship right now is what it's being called. The deals are there. In April and May of $663 right now. They're trying to hold the line at $663. But I find that the cruises on MSC Seaside that are like now to about 5 weeks from now, they're dropping them under $500 on the balcony. They're dropping the prices because of the cancellations. I think they've had so many cancellations. They've got openings all over the place, and they're trying to flog the cabin for whatever they can get for it. That's what's going on. But that's vacationstogo.com. Peter Heckema, after 6 months of cruising, I might not fit through the cabin door. Yeah, you might have had a few too many of those deals. K-Sub Seaside stinks. It does. It's a bit smelly these days. What can I say? Yeah, not good. Not good these days, is it? Anyway, there's what's going on there. So there we have it. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. Touch a little bit about the Acapulco thing and the CMV Travel Leisure thing, the sale of a ship from Carnival, an older ship, to an outside entity that won't even be isn't part of Carnival whatsoever. That's how cruise lines are, culling the herd. Is that the way to say it? To bring on the new bells and whistles cruise ships. That's what it is. This old one, I bet you on a per passenger basis, costs more to operate than the brand new Carnival Horizon that's coming for Carnival. They'll operate it that way. So I think that's where it's going. George McCrower, greetings. Hi, George. You're just in time for the end of the show. Great to have you here. Nice to see you. But yeah, these new cruise ships are the engineering that's going into them. Unfortunately for MSC Seaside, it's not working. Engineering that isn't working for the MSC Seaside. But for the Oasis of the Seas, Harmony of the Seas, and a number of the new ships that have been released lately, the engineering is working wonderfully, and the economies of scale are working, and these cruise lines are enhancing their bottom line. They're improving. They're pushing more for a cabin, even if it's $10 a week more. That $10 a week more is all profit because they've already paid the expenses on the dollars prior to that. They can get you to spend $5 a day more on anything. They're making more money because they got you on board. You've already paid for yourself. Now they're enhancing their net profit, and they'll find ways to do it. That's their job. That's why they're in business. And if they don't do it, their competition will. And we want the bells and whistles. We want the service, and we want the variety. And that's what we're prepared to pay for, obviously, because it's working. And there you have it. Debbie Emanuel is saying, don't forget your thumbs ups today. Give Bruce a thumbs up. I say yes. What a great idea. 36 have come in today. Thank you, everybody. Only one negative. I think it's our regular negative. I'm not sure who it is, but it doesn't matter. And Lisa Moore is saying, I hope I get it better so I can go on it, laugh out loud. I hope I get it better so I can go on it. I don't know what that really means. But anyway, yeah. Folks, I'm going to say goodbye for a Friday. This has been my Friday show. I'm on tomorrow, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock Eastern time for my Saturday afternoon show. If you're able to join me live tomorrow, that would be come on board. Any of you want the medallion here, you can either send me $10 on Super Chat or through PayPal, and I'd be happy to send you one of these. I've got a few of them going out right now, which is fantastic. Thank all of you for your contributions this past week on my Super Chats and through PayPal and through Patreon. I'm still demonetized, so I'm waiting for YouTube to get it together. Hopefully, I'll be back up and running sooner rather than later. Will help take some of the pressure off, but in the meantime, we just plug away with what we've got. Happy Friday to everybody. Patrick, happy Friday to you. Lisa, happy Friday. Debbie, George, K-Sib, Peter, Elizabeth, P. Massey, Richard Koromaski. Have a good one. Sylvan, thanks for joining me. Randy, same thing. Michelle, Judy was here. Charles Jordan, of course, Shelley. Kelly Stojanovic, nice to have you by today. Sonny Wallace, was great to have you. All of you who've come by, Bob, O, Matt, Jorg, all of you are here. Thank you for joining me today. Crash 3X, Betsy, Teresa. It was nice to have you by, and thanks for all your comments today. Have a great one today. I will catch you guys tomorrow at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So this is Bruce with Traveling with Bruce saying thanks for joining me today on my live stream. Have a good evening, everybody. A great weekend. I'm Traveling with Bruce. Take care for now. Bye-bye.